It's a beauty tonight as the Phillies wrap up this two-game series against the Toronto Blue Jays and put a cap on the homestand, trying to get to 500 on the homestand and get a game above 500 before they hit the road. Hi, everybody. I'm Tom McCarthy, joined by Jamie Moyer. Matt Stairs and Greg Murphy will be with us in just a little bit. Tonight, Cole Hamels will take the baseball for the Phillies, and the conditions tonight are way better than the last time Cole was out on the mounds.
That's good news for Cole, because last time, in his last outing, he really got off to a nice start in the first two innings, and then kind of ran into a little bit of a buzzsaw. You'll see here he really kind of got through, like I said, the first two innings rather easily with some good breaking balls, some good chase changeups right there, ground ball up the middle, turning a double play with Jimmy, and then all of a sudden, middle of the plate, poor pitch selection there, a poor pitch location, another pitch located in the middle of the plate, and then he actually walked the pitcher on 4 pitches to walk in a run, and it just went from bad to worse. The hits batsman, another base hit here, and it just kind of opened the floodgates for Cole, and as he admitted after his start, the weather did have an effect on him. So tonight we'll have far better weather for Cole, and I'm sure he will enjoy that as well.
But the guys he has to face, the Toronto Blue Jays, a very good offensive team. We kind of saw a little of that in the first couple innings last night.
Yeah, you see here with the Blue Jays, they're in the top 10 of every major offensive category here. And the ones that are really important, they're in the top 2 or 3. And these guys, all they do, they swing for the fences. They try to see how far they can hit the ball to center field. And they're doing a pretty good job of it right now this season.
All right, so the Phillies are trying to wrap up this homestand on a positive note before they head to Toronto to take on the Blue Jays. Drew Hutchison, a lot of strikeouts tonight for him. He'll be opposed by Hamels. When we get back, we've got a special presentation before the lineups and first pitch. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. By Toyota. The Toyota Time Sales Event is going on now. Toyota, let's go places. By Citizens Bank, introducing One Deposit Checking. Keeping things simple is helping you bank better. And by Independence Blue Cross, the most preferred health plan in the region. Independence Blue Cross. Live fearless. Take on the Toronto Blue Jays. Cole Hamels is coming in from the bullpen as we speak. And moments ago, stage actress Kristen Chenoweth performed tonight's national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we
beautiful rendition of the national anthem performed by Kristen Chenoweth before tonight's ball game. As the Phillies get set to wrap up this two-game series, it's Teva Respiratory Asthma Awareness Night here at Citizens Bank Park, and that's one of the reasons why Kristen is here this evening. She suffers from asthma, and it was a beautiful, beautiful rendition just a few moments ago. So the Phillies have taken the field as Cole Hamels will get the baseball for the Phils. It's a gorgeous night. Let's take a look at the starting lineup, brought to you by Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. Leading it off at shortstop, Jose Reyes. Melky Cabrera, the left fielder, bats second. Jose Bautista hits third, followed by Edwin Encarnacion. Juan Francisco will bat fifth, Eric Kratz sixth. And the bottom third, Erasmus Tollefson and Drew Hutchison. And they will face Phillies left-hander Cole Hamels. Hamels making just his third start of the season. Has a record of 0-2, an ERA of 6.75. So he gets an extra couple of days, Jamie, coming into this start. It wasn't really helpful for Kyle Kendrick early on last night. I wonder how it will be for Cole here tonight.
Well, I think, first of all, the weather's going to be better for Cole tonight. And I'm sure he's going to have a better grip on the ball. He's going to probably have his demeanor's going to be a little bit different. He's coming back from flu-like symptoms. But unfortunately, over his career with 6 days rest, he's a 9-9 pitcher with a 4.19 ERA. So, and he's 0-2 also against Toronto. But I think we're into May. We're out of April, which is not a particularly good month for Cole. So see what happens here tonight.
Jose Reyes is walking to the plate to start things off. It's time now for our Nissan keys to tonight's ball game. All right, Jamie, take it away first.
Well, I think the keys for tonight's game, I think they need to stay away. The Phillies pitching, Cole, and the bullpen need to stay away from the big inning, as well as the Philadelphia Philly hitters need to start working the count, forcing the opposing pitchers to throw a few more pitches and allow them to see more pitches to hopefully give them better timing.
Well, Jose Reyes will lead it off. Reyes led off last night's ball game with a home run from the left side of the plate. And he has had Cole Hamels' number during his career. First pitch is in there for a strike. It's 0-1. Reyes overall hitting a .191, 2 home runs, 7 runs batted in. Ashley in on the grass at third. And Freddie Galvis, who's playing shortstop again tonight for Jimmy Rollins. Rollins and Ryan Sandberg both said he needs at least one more day. It's sounded low, 2-1. He still felt some aggravation from that groin injury today, so they decided to give it at least one more day. He's available to pinch hit. 2-1 pitch to Reyes. Out to center field, playable for Ben Revere. And Revere comes running in to make that catch. What a way. This is Rollins earlier around BP time. The Phillies had waited to put the lineup card up and making sure that Jimmy was available or unavailable. And he came out and talked to Ryan Sandberg, said that he felt like he just needed another day. We're going to Toronto for 2. He may DH one of the 2 games.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how he jumps back and coming on that turf. That's a great point, having him a chance to DH the next couple of days. Basically what it does is keeps him off his legs for 4 days in a row.
Here's Melky Cabrera. Cabrera's having a good year, 45 hits. It's tops in the American League. And he takes a fastball outside, 1 ball and no strikes.
Also neglected to say that this is Cole's second attempt for his 100th win.
Yeah, he's at 99 and 76 for his career. And it's 2 balls and no strikes. Good changeup, and it's 2-1. The other pitchers that have won 100 games in a Phillies uniform: Steve Carlton, Robin Roberts, Grover Cleveland Alexander. Those are the top 3. Carlton with 241, Roberts with 234, and Alexander with 190. Fastball in there, 2-2. And of course, both those guys, they're up on the big wall with their retired numbers. 3 balls, 2 strikes. And low, ball 4. So he walks him with a fastball, and that'll bring Jose Bautista to the plate. And speaking of Bautista, it's time now for our cold hard fact of the game, brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light. He has the longest streak in the majors by reaching base safely in all 32 games this season. It's the longest streak since 2011, when Votto reached base safely for 33 straight games.
And you're going to see that for a guy who has tremendous power. He also hits for an extremely good average, and he also has a very good eye on taking a lot of walks.
He had 33 walks already this year, which gives him a high on base percentage.
And honestly, that's the reason. That's not the only reason why, but that's one of the reasons why he became one of the dominant power hitters in the game. Is when he first got traded over to Toronto, he was a guy that was coming in free swinger, didn't want to walk. He felt that he could hit every pitch of the ballpark. Now all of a sudden he started taking pitches, getting in the hitter's count, and changed his stance, and now he just kind of swings unbelievable for the fences every time.
He's walking around with the number 21 T-shirt on today, black and gold, the Roberto Clemente T-shirt. Walking around the clubhouse in that. 2 balls and no strikes to Bautista.
But along with what came with all that, Matt, was a lot of confidence. And I think that's what really has helped him get over the hump.
I think it's remarkable for somebody of his style to have that streak right now. Votto's kind of a contact hitter, runs a lot of deep counts. But you mentioned it, Matt, though. He's been walking a lot, 33 walks. It's a lot of walks to start the year. 2 balls and 1 strike. They had the shift on with 3 infielders on the left side. Get a little high, 3-1.
And a lot to do with the walks this year is Encarnacion's not really having the type of power numbers he had in the last few years. And now they figured, well, Bautista's swinging the bat well, still hitting the home runs. We'll go to Encarnacion until he finds a swing. And then maybe the pitch pattern will change some.
Good changeup, 3-2. He's had 2 really good changeups tonight to the right-handed batters, to Cabrera and also Bautista.
Been a little bit erratic with his fastball here. I know he's trying to move it around the zone, but he hasn't really honed it into the strike zone. Which forced him to be behind in the count.
Excellent velocity, but just not good location. Cabrera leads off first. He goes. Pitch is swung on and missed. The throw to second is in time. It's a strikeout, throw-out, double play. And the side is retired. Boy, Ruiz had perfect technique on that. He threw an absolute seed right into the base path to get Melky Cabrera. So no runs, no hits, and nobody left at a double play to get Hamels out of the first. We'll go to the bottom of the first here in Philadelphia. In their half of the first. Let's take a look at Ryan Sandberg's starting lineup for tonight. It's brought to you by Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. Leading it off in center field, Ben Revere. Carlos Ruiz, the catcher, bats second. Chase Utley hits third, followed by Ryan Howard and Marlon Byrd. Dominic Brown is in left field. He'll bat sixth. Freddie Galvis hits seventh. Batting eighth and playing third base, Cody Ashley. And on the mound, batting ninth, is left-hander Cole Hamels. And they'll face righty Drew Hutchison. The 23-year-old is 1-2. Matt, 38 strikeouts, though, in 33 innings of work.
Yeah, it's one thing. They're keeping an eye on him this year. He's coming back from Tommy John surgery in 2012. But this guy loves to pound the strike zone. He'll throw fastballs. His fastball has good movement. He has a nice slide and a very good changeup. But the thing about him is his tempo is extremely good, and he loves to throw a lot of strikes.
They'll face Ben Revere, Carlos Ruiz, and Chase Utley. Start the bottom of the first. Phillies commit to this ball game, 2 games back in the National League East. As Hutchison delivers low, it's 1-0. Ben had 2 hits last night. He was 2 for 5. Both hits were singles.
We also saw Hutchinson in spring training, and he threw the ball extremely well against the Phillies.
I think that's the first time we saw his tempo and how good it was. Boy, Juan Francisco, the third baseman, is way in on the ground. He just took a half step back. He's still pretty far in.
It's impressive. I've never seen. Well, I shouldn't say never, but he's for sure in very far. That's for sure.
I mean, that hole on the left side is, whenever third baseman's in, is wide, but it was really wide. That's where Revere had one of his hits last night. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And a called strike 3. Revere's down looking. 1 away.
You just see a good target with a fastball, throws it right to it. Strike 3, down and in. Nothing fancy. 5 fastballs right there in that at bat to Ben, and 3 of which were strikes.
Jeff Kellogg is the home plate umpire. He's the crew chief. Hal Gibson's over at first. DJ Rayburn at second. Dan Bellino is over at third. Last night, Bellino had the plate. And Carlos Ruiz at one point thought he had a strikeout. Started throwing the ball around the diamond. I said it looked like a pretty good pitch. I said, what did you say to the umpire? As he hits that one toward the hole, and it's going to get into left field, a base hit. And Ruiz has his batting average up over 300 now. He said, I asked him where it was, and he said, I thought it was there. And Bellino said, no, I didn't see it that way. I said, did you apologize after he threw it around? He said, no, I just asked him what he thought about that pitch. We all thought it was a strike.
We did.
Most definitely, and it was. Still is today. Umpire got it wrong. That's okay. They're human. They make mistakes. It's okay.
Kyle Kendrick was on the mound last night for the Phillies. Allowed 3 runs. Phillies lost 3-0. Here's Chase Utley with 1 away. Utley was 0 for 4 last night. And 0 for his last 7.
You see Eric Kratz behind the plate. He's one of the larger guys, and I mean that in a respectful way. But he gives a really good target, and I noticed that with Revere and Carlos when they were at the plate. I mean, he's a pleasure. He's got to be a pleasure to throw to.
That ball's hit well out toward left field. Cabrera is back toward the track. He'll have room, and he makes the catch. And back to first goes Ruiz. And here comes Ryan Howard. Howard with 6 home runs, 17 runs batted in. He struck out a couple times last night. And he's back in one of those stretches where he's struggling with the strike zone. He's 0 for his last 10.
He's in that swing mode right now, and instead of sitting there and recognizing the pitch, he's basically swinging when the ball is leaving the pitcher's hands and not letting it get deep and track the ball.
On the road trip, you talked about that he was having success because the ball was getting deeper, and he did look comfortable. 1 ball, no strikes. A high fly ball to left field. Not that deep. Cabrera comes running in. And that'll do it for the bottom of the first. So a couple fly balls to left. No runs, 1 hit, and 1 man left. We head to the second. Blue Jays nothing, and the Phillies nothing. Phillies will take on the LA Angels here at Citizens Bank Park beginning Tuesday, May 13th in a very quick 2-game series. On Wednesday, it's Citizens Bank Business Person Special and Modell's Senior Stroll the Bases. Following the game, tickets can be purchased by going to Phillies.com. Get a chance to see Mike Trout for the first time in an Angels uniform here at Citizens Bank Park. Curveball to Edwin Encarnacion to start this at bat off, and it's 0-1. Encarnacion was 0 for 4, hit into a double play last night. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Now, Matt, if you were in a situation like they get a first pitch curveball, would you be looking for a fastball the next pitch?
From Cole, well, yeah, I don't know. I mean, he's trying. First of all, he wants to get that first pitch over because everyone knows that Toronto's a very aggressive, really hitting team. But I always set fastball every pitch, so for me, yes. But certain guys will sit on certain pitches the whole way through one at bat until they get it.
That one's hit well, and it's not going to come back. I mean, that's a long home run for Edwin Encarnacion. Just shy of the second deck in left field. And it's 1-0 Toronto. Home run number 3 on the year. Well, that was a home run off the bats.
Carlos is looking for a fastball down and away. Someone would say it was slightly elevated down the middle. And you got guys taking hacks like they're taking right here. You're going to get those types of results, unfortunately.
Went off the back row on the first level. That ends an 0 for 15 drought for Encarnacion. Juan Francisco takes a strike, and it's 0-1. That was a cutter. Francisco hitting .280 with 3 home runs. Matt, did you ever wear your fluorescent green elbow brace?
I usually forget it at home. I always meant to wear it, but I'm really surprised he's not to wear that.
That's a good point. It's one of those sleeves that kind of keeps your arm warm, your throwing arm warm. It's very bright.
I know a few pitchers that would use that as a target and try to hit it. But I mean, really, if a pitcher can't wear bright orange or whatever you want to call that, you know, a hitter shouldn't be allowed to.
I'm calling it fluorescent green.
Fluorescent green.
Well, pitcher can't because it's very distracting on the mound.
Right, but isn't that distracting for a hit or a pitcher as well? I guess you're supposed to be looking at the mitt, but
it's all glowing around him, and he's down on strikes. That was a changeup from Hamels.
Didn't work.
Nope. And there's one away. Second strikeout for Hamels. During the 2014 season, Turkey Hill, the official ice cream of the Phillies, will contribute $100 for each Phillies victory and 5 cents for each carton of Phillies Grand Slam ice cream sold to support the Phillies youth baseball and softball programs. Boys, what'd you have tonight?
Black raspberries, pretty good stuff.
Kind of a throwback, black raspberry.
That was a good one, too.
Matt?
Something pretzel.
Something pretzel.
I had the one scoop. It's the second time all year, but it was good. It was just a something pretzel. I have no idea what it was.
But it was good, though.
It was good.
Yeah, it looked good, too. You didn't offer me any, though.
Because you had a great big giant bowl before me.
0-2 to Kratz. Kratz, who spent the last few seasons with the Phillies. Last 2 years, he hit 9 home runs in each year with the Phils. Started the year down in AAA in Buffalo. I was talking to him today. He said he has a place in Toronto and a place in Buffalo. Curveball line back toward the middle on one hop under the glove of Utley and into center field, and Kratz is aboard.
Another 0-2 hit. Curveball that stayed up in the zone. Obviously, it's not what he was trying to do with it, but still, got to go with the percentage pitch there, in my opinion. You see, Carlos is looking for a curveball down and in, and just kind of spun up there. Back up curveball. It stayed in the middle of the plate.
Well, here's Colby Rasmus. He had 2 doubles in last night's ball game. Kratz not a threat to run over at first, and the first pitch over for a strike. It's 0-1.
Hitless versus Cole, though, which is nice. I like that.
Yeah, 0 for 3. Surprised he's only faced him in 3 at bats. 7 home runs on the year, a .230 average. And that missed outside. 1 ball, 1 strike.
The thing I'm really unhappy with is this this game. Cole's it should be his 32nd pitch into the second inning with 1 out. Economizing pitches is important, especially early in the game. And again, this is only Cole's 3rd start of the season, so he kind of didn't have the typical spring training that most guys have had.
1-2. Fly ball. Foul territory. Cody Ashley puts it away. Yeah, there are 2 outs. Yeah, that'll bring Steve Tallis into the plate.
It's actually a really non-aggressive swing right there. It looked like he was hitting flat-footed. Just kind of flicked at the ball.
Yeah, and usually that happens. You're looking for a different pitch, and just kind of react, and hopefully you foul it off. But I agree 100%. It was more of a defensive swing.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully it hits a hole.
Steve Tolleson, who last played with the Orioles, that's the last time the Phillies faced him. Hit a big home run against the Phillies, against Cliff Lee. And it's 1 ball and no strikes to Tolleson. Only has 4 at bats so far this season. He's playing second base. Brett Lawrie, who started last night, still nursing a leg injury, so he's got tonight's game off, at least to start.
Getting a lot of high fastballs by Cole. He's really forcing himself to work a lot harder than he needs to.
Ground ball foul. It's 2-2.
Good fastball in right here into the hands would be a nice pitch. Drive it through the zone.
That's where Ruiz sets up. And a called strike 3. Missed the spot a little bit, but he still got the call. 3 strikeouts for Hamels. The Blue Jays do strike first. They get a home run from Edwin Encarnacion. Marlon Byrd will start it off when we come back. Thanks to a home run by Edwin Encarnacion, Marlon Byrd will lead it off for the Phillies. And Marlon's been swinging the bat pretty well lately. Murph, it's been a good homestand for him.
Swinging a hot bat indeed, Tom. And, you know, Marlon Byrd was brought in here to offer some protection in this lineup and be that power right-handed bat for the Phillies. And over the last 10 games, he has done just that. After getting off to a little bit of a slow start, look at what he's done over the last 10 games. Batting .385, his on-base percentage at .415, and the slugging at .667. He has 6 extra base hits, 10 RBIs in that time period. That after starting off a little slow. We saw him have a terrific spring down in Clearwater, and then he wasn't able to bring it back to Philadelphia right away, but he's certainly paying dividends now, guys.
Well, it's been huge too, as we've watched. You know, there hasn't been a collective group of players that have been hot offensively, but there's been at least 1 or 2 in the middle of the order. Maybe one other guy is not swinging the bat as well as, let's say, 2 others, and that's helped them get some victories.
It is, and we're trying to wait for 2 or 3 guys to join Chase. As Marlon jumps all over the first pitch fastball and drives to left field, which he's been doing extremely well this year, is keeping his hands inside the baseball and pitching, hitting the ball where it's pitched, which is nice.
A leadoff double. So thank you, Rally Murph. We appreciate that very much.
Making us look good. I like that.
Yeah. And A.J. Burnett's doing a little birdie action, little feathers. And here's Dominic Brown. Well, speaking of a guy that is still trying to find his stroke, not only his base hit stroke, but also his power stroke, is Dominic Brown. Dominic hitting .238, a home run, 10 RBIs. And a strike. It's 0-1. Dominic was 0 for 2. Came off the bench last night. Flied out once, struck out the other time. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Oh, the Geico quote of the day today came from Ryan Sandberg talking about Dominic Brown and his progress. He's working on things. He's making some adjustments. It's early enough in the season that he's just a hot streak away from getting back where he needs to be. I think that's right around the corner. That's a little optimism right there by the Phil skipper. Fly ball to center. Colby Rasmus will make the play. Bird won't go. It was in shallow. Turned out to be left center field. So what away.
And that's a bat right there where you have to find a way to get the guy over from second to third base. It's a must, especially early in the game. 1-0. You want to put the pressure on the pitcher. With 1 out and early in the game. And right now, what he's doing is basically he's hitting away from the ball. Anytime a fastball's coming in, he's not going towards that ball with his front shoulder. He's pulling back with his shoulders. That's why he's hitting a lot of weak fly balls to left field, and that's why he's been swinging and missing at a lot of changeups.
Yeah, even when you're struggling, if you can, do the fundamentally sound thing, moving the ball over, moving the runner over to third.
You have to in that situation, man. On second.
Freddie Galvis, the batter, picked up a hit last night. Ended an 0 for 24 stretch for him.
I'll tell you what, that creates winning baseball when you do that. I've been on a lot of teams where we've won a lot of baseball games, and that's what happens. Guys get runners over. They sacrifice themselves to get that run, advance that runner, believing that the next guy will get him in.
Back toward the box. Hutchinson has it. And they've got Bird caught off second. And Francisco will run it back to Reyes, and Reyes applies the tag. Now they've got Galvis between first and second. And Freddie Galvis did not pull that one off particularly well. And he's tagged out. And the side is retired. The Philly fans are going to let him hear it. It's kind of a lack of concentration right there by Freddie Galvis. We go to the third. It's the Blue Jays 1 and the Phillies nothing. A question. Log on to Phillies.com. Go to the fans section for all the information, and please submit your answer on the subject line. All right, guys, which pitcher holds the Blue Jays record for most wins in a single season? The answer will be revealed a little later on. Well, they both have written down an answer. All right, so take us through this, Matt. This wasn't good at all.
No, and the runner at second base, you want to make sure the ball gets past the pitcher. He actually did a good job after the bad blunder of not reading it to go through to stay long enough for Galvis to get into the second base. But Freddie came around first base and was not really sure if he wanted to go. If he would have kept on going, he would have been safe. But then all of a sudden he got in the middle of no man's land.
And Hutchinson starts this inning off with a base hit the opposite way. So he leads off the third with a single.
He's got bragging rights right now.
Well, he does.
Actually, it might have been his first hit. I think it threw the ball out.
Yeah, I believe that was his first. Yep, that was his first major league hit. As he rounded the bag, I saw him say something to Howard saying, we need to get that ball. Here's Jose Reyes. Reyes flied to center his first time up.
If you're going to get a first major league base hit, it's a good name to get it off of. Cole Hamels. Very good name to get it. Jamie, who was your first big league knock against?
Ground ball to third. There's one. And there's two. Wow. We're able to turn a double play against Reyes. Even though he was running from the right side of the plate, that doesn't happen all that often. It's like a double play of the night.
And it doesn't. And it all starts with Cody's feed. He gave him a very strong throw right in the midsection of outlay, and he ended up turning a double play where I thought they had no chance, especially the way Reyes runs.
Ball was hit right at Cody. By the way, it was Ted Power.
It was good that you were giving him an opportunity to think about it a little bit.
A long time ago.
Ted Power, Cincinnati Reds?
Yes. Beat it out, infield hit. Barry Larkin's right. Had good speed back then.
Took you long enough to get the name, but you know every detail about it.
Oh, you can never forget those, Tom.
Cabrera takes low. It's 1-0. What about you, Matt?
Jose Lima. No, I'm sorry. Jose Rio from Cincinnati.
Cincinnati Reds.
Cincinnati Reds. And it was not an infield single.
Low, ball 2. Cabrera walked his first time up. Two and one.
I think Cabrera got the remnants of Francisco's arm sleeve in his batting gloves left over.
Yeah, it must be something this year because we've seen even Ryan Howard has a little bit of the fluorescent green in a pair of his batting gloves.
That's a good fastball right there, down and in. Hit his location. That's what Cole needs right there. Get that ball across the plate, extend through, reach through your target.
Swing and a miss. He got him through McCutter. And the side is retired. 4 strikeouts for Hamels. No runs, 1 hit. 2 double plays already tonight for the Phils. We'll go to the bottom of the third. Any size, hot or iced coffee is just $1. McDonald's, I'm loving it. By W.B. Mason, you can't go wrong when you buy right. And by Nissan. Choose Nissan today for great offers on our most exciting lineup ever. Shop at ChooseNissan.com. Well, I believe somebody wants Greg Murphy to find his way up to where they're sitting. Murph, are you, I don't know if you're on the mic right now.
I am. I can hear you.
Are you working your way up to those guys that have the banner up there? It says U11 bullpen, South Jersey, Greg Murphy on CSN.
If anything's going to get me up there, that's it.
Yeah.
So, maybe I'll have to head my way up there. Looks like a nice group.
It's a nice sign. It's going to be the start of something. They're going to be Greg Murphy signs everywhere, and they're going to want you to come out and say hi to them. We're never going to see you again.
Well, that's okay. That's overrated anyway.
Cody Ascio lead it off here in the third. Phillies down 1-0. 1 ball and no strikes. One and one. Ascio hitting .214, couple home runs, 7 runs batted in. Something soft there. It's 2-1. By the way, if you're wondering about that full double play that ended the second, because it is a full double play, 1, 5, 6, 3, 4. So everybody from the infield got involved except for the catcher, and he was about ready to get involved.
So with this, we're thinking about the stump question.
Yeah, I saw you guys talking about it in between innings.
Do we both get an answer, or how did?
You both can get an answer, and we'll ring a bell if one of you get it right, and we'll throw the buzzer out there if one of you get it wrong. I will say I saw both of you write down an answer.
You saw the right answer.
One of you has the right answer, just so you guys know. Here's the question: which pitcher holds the Blue Jays record for most wins in a single season?
I think I can tell you the year and the amount of wins.
Really? 3-2 pitch. And that's going to be a base hit into center field for Ashe. So he's aboard to start the third. It gives Hamels a chance to sacrifice him over. The Lucky McDonald's Phillies home run jackpot contestant is Evelyn Flatula of Phoenixville. Phillies hit a home run in tonight's ball game. Then Ev will win $300. Hamels smiling. I think Kratz may have said something to him. Francisco is strolling in from third. And Hamels bunts at it and misses, and it's 0-1. Kratz thought about throwing behind Ashe, but the second baseman Tollison had a long way to go in order to do that.
A lot of times too, when you see a catcher will come up and fake the throw to first base like he's going to pick the guy off. A lot of times now he thinks that, okay, I can't get that big a secondary lead, so all of a sudden you have a smaller lead and you're not as aggressive with your secondary lead, knowing that someone might be coming behind you, which it's almost impossible for a second baseman to get over there.
Ball was butted too hard. Hutchison goes to second for one, and the next throw goes over the head of Tollison, so Hamels will be at first. 1-6 on the putout at second base. So that'll go down as a fielder's choice for Hamels. Toyota Major League Scoreboard. The Marlins have taken a 2-0 lead over the Mets in the bottom of the third. Giancarlo Stanton, a double and an RBI. Phillies pitchers were out here the other day working on their bunting. Pete Buchanan, who helps to oversee the pitcher's offense, was working on it with a number of different guys. First pitch to Revere is taken inside. 1 ball, no strikes. Hamels, Lee, and I would say Kendrick are the guys you don't generally worry about when it comes to the bunting part of it. But we've seen this year where there's been some struggles with the sacrifices. Revere lifts it to right. And then Bautista comes running in, and there are 2 outs. Get all the Eagles draft news you need to know on Draft Central on Sportsnet Central. Tonight at 10 on Comcast Sportsnet.
Bunting is a big part of the offense, Tom.
Yeah, it is.
And I think when you don't get that bunt down, it's a lost opportunity. It really is. Just like earlier when we didn't move a runner to third base. It's things that I'm not going to say it's inexcusable, but it's things that you want to generate advancement in your offense, and you're not able to do that on a consistent basis. It makes it more difficult to score runs when you're already struggling to score runs.
Yeah, and every team needs to do it, but Ryan Sandberg even told us during spring training, he said we're going to need to be the kind of team that does those little things to win. There's going to be so many games this year based on the last couple seasons. We're not going to blow everybody out. I mean, we're going to need to do those little things.
Well, and that's by looking at your lineup, saying we don't have that thunder anymore as much as we used to have, hitting all those home runs. So it's very important to play small ball. Get guys over, get them in when you have to, and lay bunts down and steal bases and take the extra base.
1 ball, 2 strikes to Ruiz.
That's interesting too. We threw the lineup the first time. It was predominantly fastballs, a couple changeups. Now all of a sudden we get the lineup turned over for the second time. The man on first, and Carlos is seeing slider, changeup. Very, very smart by Eric Kratz and Drew Hutchison, the way they're going up at the Phillies lineup so far. And Chooch being a hot hitter too, and they're well aware of that.
Swing and a miss, and Ruiz is struck out. Side is retired. Second strikeout of the night for Hutchison. No runs, 1 hit, and 1 man left for the Phillies. We are through our first 3. 1-0 Blue Jays. Packs offer savings that are guaranteed to work the first time, every time. Order from WB Mason by 11:30 a.m. and get free same-day delivery. Nobody beats WB on HP.
Tom, did you find some of those cartridges today? You replaced ours in the office.
I did, thanks to the folks at WB Mason. We did replace we're advanced now. We got a clock, and we're replacing the toner cartridge in our office. Now that's what Jamie and I did today. Did you do anything to enhance the office today?
Well, I had to get for myself.
You got a new briefcase.
Got a new briefcase because
putting a lot of mileage in the old one.
And I have, and I think it's because Chase made fun of it a few times, so I got rid of it. And I went to the wheel one instead of the one over the shoulder.
So what did Chase say to you about the briefcase that you were carrying?
He just wanted a nice bag.
Nice
and that was it. He walked by and man,
maybe
it
was
words.
a compliment. Maybe it was a compliment.
I don't think so.
I don't know if he meant that as a compliment. Chopper to third. That's a fair ball going down the left field line. And into the corner. Bautista will pull into second. And he's there with a double. And that's his 7th double of the year.
So the fastball is supposed to be inside, and Cole left it out over the plate a little bit, and Bautista drove it past the shift on the left side.
Well, here's Encarnacion who hit a 417-foot home run. His first time up.
Think he's going to bunt him over?
Well, they have the shift on the left side, so he has the right side wide open if he decides to do something like that. 1-0.
I don't think he's going to bunt him over, but it's going to be interesting to see his approach right now. He's been a guy that's hit for power extremely well. And is he going to get in a selfish mode to try to drive a ball to left field, or a team guy hit the ball to right field?
Fouled it away. It's 1 ball and 1 strike.
And with that swing right there, he was trying to drive it to right field.
Yes, he was. And you're right, drive it. Might invite him a changeup right here.
Broke his bat. Left side. Oh, miscommunication between Freddie and Chase. Bautista's going to third. The throw by Brown is not in time. Yeah, that'll put runners on first and third with nobody out. Phillies are playing a rather sloppy game here tonight. They scored that a base hit. They can't really score at anything else. You know, all this is new, this whole shifting thing. And
it is new, but you got to realize if you're the shortstop going to your left, that's your ball. That's an almost impossible play for Chase to go to his back and plant basically deep in the hole at shortstop.
Actually in the grass, and it's not at the side of the diamond that he plays on.
That's why we were saying that, you know, it's all new, the shifting, and that's why we saw on the road trip, and I think we saw earlier this year, other teams practicing the shift. You know, Ashe was in shallow right field taking ground balls on this road trip. No balls and 1 strike.
The other side to that, you know, when you're struggling on the offensive side, as Freddie is, you've got to play consistent defense. You know, if you're struggling on both sides, it's going to be really tough for a manager to rely on you to put you into a game.
To the right side, this will get a run home, and Utley will go to second for 1. And that's all they'll get. So it's 2-0 Blue Jays. It'll be an RBI for Francisco, as Encarnacion is retired at second.
Especially when Cole made a tremendous pitch on Encarnacion, not allow him to hit the ball to right field, made a very nice cutter, did his job by getting the ground ball to the left side, and then all of a sudden you get a base hit out of it.
Congratulations all around. Everybody was sort of congregated around Encarnacion there. Here's Kratz. Kratz singled his first time up. Inside, 1-0. Swing and a miss. Threw him something soft that was a change up, 2-1. Luis Rivera, the third base coach, laying down the signs. Francisco doesn't run all that well over at first. Real short lead. And Kratz fouls it back to the right.
I think James changeup right here. 2-0 changeup, 2-1 fastball.
You're feeling Kratz may be sitting on something soft. My guess.
He does throw the changeup, but it was down and in, so 3-2. Rasmus on deck.
Got to throw a strike here. Got to believe. I know Rasmus doesn't hit him well. You get the lefty on deck, but take my chances with Kratz.
Francisco doesn't go, and the pitch is softly hit on the left side, and Freddie Galvis makes the catch. 2 outs. Well, the Cincinnati Reds are coming to town on Friday, May 16th. It's part of a 3-game series, 7:05, and then Sunday the 18th is a 1:35 start. It's Citizens Bank Fanatic Birthday. The free Fanatic Fun Glasses for fans 14 and under. There are the specs right there. Order your tickets at Phillies.com.
You've seen those before, haven't you, man? Those glasses in the nose? Somewhere. I think I've seen.
It's all over Twitter.
I've seen a picture of you.
Yeah, on Twitter. Yeah, you actually sent a very nice text to me that day. You went home and thought the booth was having too much fun.
It's all about having fun.
Putting it nicely.
That ball's hit well. Out toward right center field. Revere on the run. Out toward the track to the wall, and it's gone. A 2-run home run for Rasmus. And it's now a 4-0 Blue Jays lead. That's 8 home runs for Colby Rasmus.
The ball was hit into the wind, too. Hit that ball pretty well. You could hear the sound of it.
The fastball's supposed to be blown away, and both of them knew as soon as he hit it that two-seamer came back towards the middle of the plate. That happy zone for left-hander, and Chuch's reaction and Hamels' reaction tells it all.
I think what Jamie was saying too about the wind, it sounded like it was gone off the bat, but with the way the wind was blowing in,
thought it had a chance to maybe stay in.
Yeah. Collison hits it toward third, in the air, caught Cody Ashley. And the side is retired. 3-run score for the Blue Jays. 2 on a home run by Colby Rasmus. Chase Utley will lead it off when we come back to the bottom of the 4th. Quality Plus Ford stores. Go further. By Thomas Jefferson University Hospitals. Call 1-800-JEF-NOW for an appointment. And by Toyota. The Toyota Time Sales event is going on now. Toyota, let's go places. Bottom of the fourth, Blue Jays 4, Phillies nothing. And the Phillies will send Chase Utley, Ryan Howard, and Marlon Byrd to the plate. Cole has given up 4 runs so far on 6 base hits, including a 2-run home run by Colby Rasmus. And he's hoping for a little offense. The Phillies haven't had much offense in these first 2 games against the Blue Jays. They have 2 more up in Toronto beginning tomorrow.
We talked about it early in the game about the Phillies pitching, Cole in the bullpen potentially staying away from the big inning, and that 4th inning was unfortunately a big inning.
Chase flied out to left his first time up, and the first pitch taken outside. 1 ball, no strikes. To the right side, Tollison gobbles it up, 1 away. Yeah, that'll bring Ryan Howard to the plate.
Again, there's no secret to how Hutchinson is pitching so far tonight. It's pretty basic. Fastball after fastball after fastball. We kind of knew that was in the scouting report, and it's he's following suit here. Really, the Phillies haven't really forced him to change anything that he needs to do.
Swing and a miss. It's 0-1. Just 23 years old. 15th round draft pick.
Coming off of where he didn't play last year. He was rehabbing from Tommy John surgery.
Off the plate. And there are 2 outs. Fans, follow every Phillies game with MLB.com at bat on your favorite mobile phone or tablet. Get live look-ins, instant replay, scores, stats, audio, free MLB.TV game of the day, and much more. Download on the App Store. Visit Phillies.com today. Here's Marlon Byrd. Byrd doubled his last time up. And a fastball, and it's 0-1.
So far, out of 14 at-bats, including this at-bat, in 7 of those at-bats, the Phillies have seen 2 or less pitches.
So they didn't get our scouting report.
Nope.
Or our keys to the game, sorry.
Well, and you talk about this, Matt, that as long as you go after good pitches, it's okay to go early, but they don't have a lot of familiarity with Hutchinson, so you would think they'd be a little more patient. Outside, 3-1.
Haven't hit too many balls hard, especially with seeing the amount of fastballs that they've seen. Marlins' previous at bat, when he hit the double, that was a hard hit ball. But even the outs have been.
Chase's first inning, the ball hit the left field. That was the left center. He hit that ball. He hit that ball well. But I agree, though, and I'm not saying to see pitches, which means take fastballs down the middle and automatically go 0-1. If it's there, go ahead and take an aggressive swing like we talked about in Encarnacion, trying to hit the ball to right field. He's trying to drive that ball to right field instead of what it almost looks like is we're thinking so much about our mechanics that we're forgetting about actually swinging the bat. And that's why a lot of weak ground balls is because we're so late and you have to react so much, then all of a sudden your shoulders are flying out and you have nothing on the backside to hit.
Well, have a plan when you go to the plate, and the plan should be fairly simple off of a fastball pitcher, right? Use the big part of the diamond. If you miss, you still got a chance to keep the ball in play, and if you pull it, you still got a chance to keep the ball in play. You go back a week or so ago when the Phillies were last at home and swinging the bats quite well. They had a lot of balls that used the middle part of the diamond. Put it this way, when they've had success this year, that's what they've done.
A lot of ways we saw that even in the National Series over the weekend, even in the loss. Well, Marlins having himself an extensive at-bat, but just 45 pitches for Hutchison with 2 outs here in the 4th. This will be his 8th pitch of this at-bat. It's the longest one of the night. Out of play, so we'll see number 9.
With the amount of fastballs they're seeing today, it's almost an extension of batting practice. Pitchers are just a little more accelerated.
And Marlin again pulls one toward left. That's going to go to the corner. And Marlin's going to get his 2nd double of the night. Boy, he is locked in right now. 13 multi-hit games for Marlon Byrd. He's now 9 for 20 on this homestand.
Just every at bat, he's having a professional at bat. He's getting up there. He's not giving any at bats away. There's some nasty pitches coming in. He's fouling them off. And then the pitcher makes a mistake with a fastball down the middle. And he makes him pay and drives the ball to left field. His leg kick is so smooth right now. And his time is excellent. And I'm telling you, it's a nice place to be when you're hitting, when everything slows down and you're seeing the ball that long.
Well, his batting average now up to .308 with his 2 doubles tonight. And here's Dominic Brown. The Phillies with a runner in scoring position. Down 4-0 here in the bottom of the 4th. And Dominic lifts it to left. It's not deep. Going to be tough play. Francisco in foul territory makes the catch. And the side is retired. No runs. 1 hit. 1 man left. We'll go to the 5th. The Phillies still down 4-0. And Ryan Sandberg's been nice enough to join us from the dugout as this inning gets underway. And right now, first question I wanted to ask you is, what are your thoughts on Cole right now in his 3rd start back off the disabled list?
Well, tonight it seems to me like his control command's a little bit off. He's throwing a lot of pitches out of the zone, and he's falling behind the count, and they're capitalizing on some pitches to hit and hitters' counts.
Hey, Rhino, it's Matt. We know D. Brown's struggling a little bit. What has he been working on lately in the cage just to get him back on top of the ball and slowing his motion down?
Brownlee's just working on mechanics and timing, and he's trying to use the whole field and hit the ball where it's pitched. So looks like these last two at bats he's kind of forced the ball the other way rather than just react and just let it work naturally.
Ryan, where does Jimmy sit right now with his health?
Jimmy's day to day. He took a little pregame and wanted to see how he bounced back, but he still had some tenderness in his upper leg area, so he's day to day right now.
Hey, Rhino, I know that a lot of people have asked you about the shift we saw yesterday, the three men on the left side, and I know you're going to implement that a little bit more this year. How deep into it do you think you'll get with it this year?
Well, just as it makes sense with the spray charts and knowing the hitters. We had a little miscommunication there on the shift on who was to field that ball with Freddie and Chase there. So, but we're going to utilize that with what makes sense with the hitters that we know and the scouting reports and the charts that we get.
All right, Rhino, we appreciate it. We'll touch base with you again.
Thanks, guys.
Ryan Sandberg, our guest, as we are here in the top of the fifth inning, and Drew Hutchison is not only going to remember Cole Hamels for his first hit, but he's going to remember Cole Hamels for his first 2 hit nights. And again, he goes the other way with that one. So he's aboard to start this fifth.
Oh, not only did he give up a hit right there, but that first pitch right there, it's first swing by Reyes. Wow. Now, to me, are you going to allow him to take another swing like that off of you?
1 ball and 1 strike.
I mean, that's a leadoff hitter swinging like a 4-hole hitter. You know, to me, that's a time where you're going to come in, you're going to move him off the plate, you can get him to move his feet. And he backed it up with another changeup. And now a fastball down and away, and he's back behind in the count, as Ryan alluded when you talked to him, Tom, or when we talked to him. And that's where Cole's struggles have been tonight. Throwing a lot of pitches, getting behind in the count, and really not having good command with his fastball.
Up on the right side, Chase Utley is there. And there's one away. Well, he's handled Reyes tonight. Reyes is 0 for 3. And here's Melky Cabrera, who is 0 for 1 with a walk. He walked his first time.
There's comfortable at bats, and right now I see Toronto with a lot of comfortable at bats. Not only tonight, but last night as well. And when you got a team that's comfortable, I mean, they're almost sprinting to home plate.
We joke about, the other day against Washington when, Lee threw that ball up and in the span when he was out of the batter's box, but there was a message sent with that.
And he really wasn't out of the batter's box. He just called timeout and stood in the box. I'm not saying that Cliff was trying to throw at him, but as a pitcher, you're always taught if you start your motion, you never stop. You always throw the baseball. It doesn't have to be to the catcher. It could be off the back of the screen. But you never stop because it's a great way to injure yourself. And when Span did call timeout, he never moved. He just assumed that Cliff wasn't going to throw the baseball.
1 ball and 2 strikes to Cabrera.
And when you start assuming in this game passes you by really quickly.
Down the right field line, and it'll float out of play. A nice play off the carom by the ball girl.
And Matt, I'm sure you've heard this expression over the course of your career. When you're playing against a team that may not be sharp, maybe a little flat, what was always said in the dugout? Don't wake them up.
Right. But now, since Toronto's awake, you need to put them to sleep.
Exactly.
Couple pop-ups to Reyes and now Cabrera. Again, it's Utley on the infield grass this time. 2 outs. shows the numbers by inning for Cole. 22 in the second. They scored 1 run. In the fourth, he threw 16. They scored 3. And that'll bring Bautista to the plate, who doubled his last time up and scored. And he's now reached base safely in the first 33 games. You guys want to know what the record is? This will blow your mind.
I'm going to say 72.
You're close.
Okay. 81.
You're closer.
Wow. So it must be like 78.
No.
It's over 81.
It's like Price is Right. You can't go over. So you're still 3 games away. Ted Williams in 1949 reached base safely in 84 consecutive games.
That's impressive.
Now we're talking walk, hit.
Hit by pitch.
Hit by pitch.
Does error count?
Error does not count.
How about a strikeout with a wild pitch?
Don't believe that counts because it counts as a time at bat. Huh. But 84 straight. What do you do the second half of the year? I mean, you've already had a very good season at that point.
You better it.
Well, he certainly did. Back toward the middle, and a base hit it to center field. Oh boy, that was awfully close. And Bautista's 2 for 3.
Well, and it's close because there are no strikes inside. There's nobody that's looking for the ball in the inner half of the plate at this point. And why would you? Fastball in the middle of the plate. And you got to establish both sides of the plate.
Oh, Encarnacion is 2 for 2. He's homered and singled. First pitch a little high, 1-0. Ball and 1 strike. Toward left field, playable for Dominic Brown. It's not hit that deep. Toward the end of the bat, side is retired. No runs, 2 hits. And 2 men left, so we played 4 1/2. The Phillies trailing at 4-0. Got to get a little offense going when we come back. Phillies' fantastic auction. It features great experiences and collectibles, including you can play in a hockey game with Matt at the Wells Fargo Center. All expense paid trip for 2 to San Francisco to see the Phillies play the Giants. An autographed 1980 Phillies World Series champions poster. The fantastic auction benefits Phillies charities. The auction ends on Tuesday, May 13th and Wednesday, May 14th. Check it out at Phillies.com. Those items are moving pretty nicely at this point. There's a few golf experiences. We talked about the slumber party here at the ballpark. The other one we didn't talk about, we kind of brushed through the other day, you were laughing at, Matt, was playing A.J. Burnett in a video game up on the Big Fanavision here.
Yeah, I'm not sure if you're going to beat A.J. in any video games. He has a few kids, and he's a character with his video games.
I have to admit, I mean, my kids play them too. I could never beat my kids, so I don't know if that's a sure sign that you're really good at it. But I think that's pretty neat. Not sure where they're going to sit, but they'll have a pretty good screen to play that video game. I don't know if it's AJ's choice, though, as far as what video game it is.
Imagine back in the day playing Pac-Man or Donkey Kong and that thing out there. That'd be impressive.
It would be colorful.
That it would.
Crystal clear. They'd be watching it from the Walt Whitman Bridge. Ground out to first. Cody Ashley's covered up. It's time for the Major League Notebook. Murph, take it away, buddy.
All right, thanks a lot, T-Mac. It's brought to you by Gwinnett Mercy University, and that's third baseman Ryan Zimmerman working his way back from that fractured thumb. Matt Williams kind of delivered a state of the address today, said that thumb is healing nicely. He's about a week away from baseball activities. The initial diagnosis was 4 to 6 weeks. He should be right on par with that. And how about Matt Wieters of the Baltimore Orioles today? Scratched from their lineup. He is feeling soreness in his elbow. He is going to go see Dr. James Andrews, which is never a good thing. Go ahead, Tom. Take that away.
Well, Ashley sends one to deep left field. It's off the wall, and he's going to pull into second with a one-out double. That's his second hit of the night. Murph, continue.
That's right. On Matt Wieters, he's batting .337, 5 home runs, and 18 RBIs already for the Baltimore Orioles. So that is a big loss for them in the middle of their lineup. So that is the Major League Notebook tonight, brought to you by Gwinnett Mercy University.
I wanted you to continue because I wanted you to tell us what's going on out there.
Well, say hello to the South Jersey bullpen. The U11 baseball team, who are nice enough to...
Are you sponsoring them?
I am now. I'm nice enough to bring a little love to the ballpark, so we came up to say hello.
All right, well, we appreciate that, Murph. Here's Cole Hamels with a runner at second base. Hamels takes outside, 1 ball, no strikes. Hamels tried to bunt his last time up, or sacrifice, I should say, and it turned out to be a fielder's choice. Should go out of play. Francisco and Reyes will run it over. And it's back a few rows, so 1 ball and 1 strike to Cole.
It's hard to tell what that wind's doing out there. It feels like it's swirling in the ballpark. I know we're feeling it up here in the booth, but it looks like it's blowing straight in. But when it's coming in the booth here, it feels like it's coming in and kicking right back out.
I was going to ask both of you, because you both played on this field, and the way the wind swirls like that, if you could ever tell, like if there's certain thing that you looked for to tell where the wind was actually blowing. Besides the center field flag, sometimes it's not true.
Those days when it was really dark and it was going to storm, that's the only day I could tell you where it was going, because the flags were straight.
To the right side, Hamels is retired. Ashley goes to third. 2 outs, and Ben Revere's coming up. I remember Raul Ibanez used to say that the feeling on the field was totally different here. And I guess this was the case in most ballparks than what the flags dictated.
Well, I can tell you a lot of times when the wind's blowing the balls down the lines, especially the left field line, as the ball would start to come down, it would start to come back to the field. Many a times I've seen outfielders misplay balls on those pop-ups where the ball's borderline in play, out of play, but it always seemed to want to come back.
Revere takes a strike. It's 0-1. Ben is 0 for 2. He's struck out. He's also flied to right.
And actually in Toronto, which they won't have the roof open the next 2 days probably.
Roof will not be open. I was told today it's going to be 8 degrees Celsius.
So what's that, Matt? Fahrenheit?
I'll tell you next inning.
He'll have to do the conversion. Out towards center field. Rasmus wasn't playing all that deep, so he'll just go back a few steps. But he makes the catch. Side is retired. No runs. One hit. One man left. Matt's doing a little thinking, and we'll go to the 6th. Is taking the field with confidence in 2014. As usual, Carlos has been great defensively for the Phillies behind the plates. As the month of April came to an end, Carlos's bat was just getting started. Balls are flying off his bat for average, and extra base hits are coming in bunches, including 6 during the series in LA alone. His efforts earned him National League Player of the Week honors, and they're brought to you by Independence Blue Cross. Live fearless. Well, the Fanatic was trying to get everybody to be part of his dance scheme in between innings. Went from one security officer to another, one police officer, and then finally, there we go. Look how proud he is. You can see the Fanatic is very proud that he was able to get somebody to go. Juan Francisco leads it off here in the 6th. That one is blooped into center, a base hit. And that is the 8th hit of the night for the Blue Jays. 2 of those hits have come from the opposing pitcher. And here's Eric Kratz. Check that. That's the 9th hit. Well, all of this is accentuated because it's been 21 innings since the Phillies last scored a run. That is a heck of a drought. No balls and 1 strike. Kratz singled his first time up and then hit a little bloop to shortstop his last time. Swing and a miss. 0-2. Nice for Eric to get back to Philadelphia. Mom and Dad are here watching him play tonight. The rest of his family is back in Toronto. Then Revere, boy, he is strong. Revere out towards center. He barely took a swing at that. And there's one away. And Colby Rasmus is coming up.
Well, everything was away right there. Everything. First 2 pitches were change-ups, running away, and he threw a backdoor cutter that kind of came back into his barrel, and all he had to do was flick it out there, and he did hit it a pretty good ways into the wind.
Rasmus homered his last time. It was a 2-run shot. Went 407 feet. just to the right of the 398 sign. Colby Rasmus has a different stance, I think, every time we see him. Spring training, wasn't he? You know, there was a short gap between his feet and he was open. Uh-oh. I mentioned yesterday, Seis de Mayo is a celebration all to itself. As the Fanatic was trying to silly string Larry Anderson celebrating his birthday, he sprayed it on himself and then was able to regroup. Happy birthday, Larry. Larry looked like he was really thrilled that the Fanatic was visiting him tonight. There he is. Oh. You know, he'd probably keep that on himself until we get to Toronto. Swing and a miss. 1 ball and 2 strikes. I have been celebrating Seis de Mayo for about 15 years now. Larry's always made that he says, forget about Cinco de Mayo, Seis de Mayo. Out of play. Look at the Fanatic. He's high-fiving Fransky. Ian Cohen back behind doing the engineering. Better be careful. He high-fived Fransky. You better not high-five that one finger that he thinks he broke today. Have you seen the finger,
No,
Jamie?
I haven't.
Oh.
Dropped it.
He dropped a dresser on it. He was
Larry
moving
did?
a dresser.
Fransky. Oh, wow.
Also celebrating his 53rd birthday is Dean Kaminsky, one of our camera operators. Dean, we're going to send the Fanatic down to say hi in just a few moments.
He's kind of got the Ron Duguay hairdo. I like that. The hockey hair.
1-2 to Rasmus with a runner at first. Swing and miss. 2 outs. Well, so Dean, Larry, and Willie Mays all celebrating the same day. And I'm sure some others too, but those are the 3 that come to mind immediately.
I don't know if you noticed during that at bat with all that tomfoolery going on, but after Cole threw that fastball in to Rasmus,
yeah,
the swings weren't the same. And that's what I'm talking about, pitching inside.
Kind of sets up that changeup. And even the cutter.
Most definitely.
0-1 to Tollefson. He lined out his last time up. That one's out toward the alley in right center field. On the run is Marlon Byrd. He's not going to get there. It's going to go to the wall. Heading to third and being waved home is Francisco. The throw to the plate by Utley is not in time. And now they've got Tollefson, although nobody's covering seconds. Well, Galvis and Utley were both out. And Howard was coming in to be the cutoff man, it seems. And that allowed Tollefson to get back to second without any problems.
And these are the ones that doesn't happen very often, but it's a double relay. It's basically a triple relay to home plate. And Chase goes out first and Galvis follows. And then Ryan Howard drops back towards the pitcher's mound. Just for that reason, if the throw has no chance of getting the guy to home plate.
Right.
But I'm just wondering, I mean, I've never seen a play like that before where.
Yeah, usually somebody's covering second
Unless
base.
all of a sudden, as soon as he turns and throws, Freddie gets back to second base. Freddie might have been out a little too far with the cutoff man, especially in a smaller ballpark where you really don't need 2 cutoff guys in the outfield.
Well, it's 5-0 Blue Jays, and now 10 hits. And here's Hutchinson, who has 2 hits today. Hutchinson is only the second Blue Jay to have 2 hits in a game in a regular season ball game.
Do you know the answer?
I have it in front of me.
Is it Markham?
No, it's not, but you did play in the game, so you should know. Come on.
Holiday?
It is Roy. Roy had 2 hits that day. You had 1. He outdid you. Swing to miss, and he's down on strikes. Side is retired, but a run does score. We've played 5.5. The Phillies trailing it 5-0. And again, they've got 21 straight innings without a run. AT&T, mobilizing your world. By Dodge. Visit Dodge.com or your local dealer today. And by Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. That's Jeff Manship, who's throwing in the bullpen. As we go to the bottom of the 6th inning, Hamels' night is most likely done. Cole's still kind of trying to find his way since coming off the disabled list. He's allowed 10 hits and 5 runs through 6 innings of work. Time now for our Jeep Stuff the Fans trivia quiz answer. Question one more time. Which pitcher holds the Blue Jays record for most wins in a single season? You guys each want to throw an answer out there?
Go ahead, Matt. You're on a roll. Go ahead.
I'd say Roy Halladay in 2008. He won 22 games.
You had two-thirds of that correct.
So he won 21 games.
No.
23.
Roy Halladay.
Oh, 2000.
Won 22 games in 2009. 3.
Oh, he won 20 games in 2008.
Well, that may be.
That was
it was 22 in 2003.
But the bottom line is I got the bell.
Here's Ruiz. Swing and a miss. Jamie, your answer
was Dave. I'm going to be honest. My answer was Dave Steeb.
Which,
thank you.
Which was a very good answer.
Yeah.
He was a really good pitcher.
He was.
No balls and 1 strike. That's just the 58th pitch thrown by Hutchison. Don't be offended, Jamie. We just want to see if the buzzer worked.
That's all right. I don't mind.
Dave Steeb would throw a slider at any time in the count. It was ridiculous because you couldn't hit it.
That ball's hit well out toward left center field. On the run is Rasmus. He's not going to get it. It's a 1-hop off the base of the wall, and Carlos will pull in his second hit of the night. It's his 10th double of the year. And he is now 13 for 28 in the 2-hole.
Really? That's and because you've seen a lot of fastballs. Not that he can't hit a slider, but he gets a chance to hit in front of Chase. You've seen a lot of fastball. And that's really the first mistake that Hutchison made tonight with the fastball, keeping up the zone to Tooch right there, and he's been swinging the bat extremely well and drove that to left center.
Well, here's Utley. Phillies down 5-0. Utley's 0 for 2. Flied out, grounded out. outside. 1 ball, no strikes. I don't want to go too far, Matt, but we never told everybody what 8 degrees Celsius is.
What is it,
46.8 degrees.
It's going to be chilly.
Well, the roof apparently is working in Toronto, but they are going to keep it closed for the next 2 days, it looks like. Here, it's a breezy night. Drive back through the middle. That's a base hit. Rasmus takes it on a hop, and Ruiz will hold up at third. First to third with nobody out.
Notice where these 2 hits have been. The middle of the field. And I was talking about previously when we were talking about when the Phillies were right a couple weeks ago, using the big part of the field right here, right in there, and they tend to be able to string things together when we're hitting the ball, and Phillies are hitting the ball in the middle of the diamond.
By the way, that was great timing on your part.
Seriously, very natural with the telestrator. Very natural.
No, I got my finger caught in it. Sorry.
Here's Howard. Howard is 0 for 2. He's fly to left. He's tapped one back to the mound. Inside, 1-0.
Interesting first pitch fastball inside. Came back with a very nice changeup. Now just came back with a fastball. Hopefully, Ryan's looking for something out over the plate. Changeup. And make him stay back a little longer and drive that ball to left field.
And a line drive. Base hit it to center field. The Phillies are on the board. So the scoreless streak ends after 21 straight innings. It's an RBI single by Ryan Howard. It's a 5-1 ball game. 3 straight hits for the Phillies.
And Ryan did a very nice job staying back on that changeup. Realizing with the 1-0 changeup, he went out a little too far to get it and took a more of a weaker swing, defensive swing. That time he stayed back, kept his head down. And his whole body stayed out over the home plate right there. Stayed back and drove that ball, and he hit the ball actually right in front of home plate where you're supposed to, and just stayed through it the whole way through. Good adjustment from the 1-0 swing to that swing right there.
So that's RBI number 18 for Howard. It ends an 0 for 12 stretch for him. And now Marlon Byrd is 2 for 2 with 2 doubles. Phillies with 1 run on 8 base hits, neither runner being held on. Encarnacion way off the line at first. And he pops it up. Midfield fly roll will be called. There it is. 1 out.
And there's the effect of throwing so many fastballs. In Marlins 2 previous at bats, he saw nothing but fastballs. Now he comes up with a man in scoring position. First pitch he sees is a slider, and it really kind of jammed him, and he popped it up. Again, Eric Kratz and Drew Hutchison are, I think, working very well together in tandem, calling this game and executing pitches.
Change up in there for a strike. It's 0-1. Dominic 0 for 2, 1 for 16 on the homestand. Phillies had a scoreless stretch of 21 innings last year. That was a slider. Now the 0-2 pitch coming to Brown. Off the end of the bat, foul. Howard back to first, Utley back to second. It'd be nice to get a couple more here.
Two bloops and a blast.
Yep. And Brown is struck out. 2 away. Only 3 strikeouts for Hutchison. We said he had picked up a lot of strikeouts.
No walks.
Nope, no walks. And that's why his pitch count is at 71.
Just a high fastball right there, especially with the way Brown has been swinging with his upper body and pulling off the ball. He has an automatic loop, and anything up to the zone he can't get to. Now, fastball down and in or a slider down and in, he could crush it because he has that pull-off uppercut swing. But anything elevated right now, he's having a hard time making contact with it.
All right, so here John Mayberry will pinch hit for Freddie Galvis. Freddie, as everybody knows, is really struggling. Just 1 hit. On this homestand. And 1 for his last 30. Runners lead off first and second. Mayberry takes a strike. It's 0-1. Freddie's not had a particularly good game fundamentally, which is such an oddity for him. He's such a fundamentally strong player. 0-1 to Mayberry. Two to Mayberry with runners on first and second. 2 outs, a runner's in. And the pitch. And he fouls it up over the first base dugout.
Talking to some of the Toronto Blue Jays broadcasters today, they're saying how high the Blue Jays are on Drew Hutchison because he's such a battler. He doesn't give in, and he just pounds the zone. They really like how he approaches his craft of pitching using his fastball. And they say he just never, ever gives in to a hitter.
He's pretty composed, too.
Yes, for a 23-year-old.
There hasn't been a lot of pressure on him tonight, but he definitely looks like he's not rattled whatsoever. Bratz will go out to talk.
And here's what you're taught. You know, when you're uncertain as a pitcher, well, it's okay to call timeout, have the catcher come out, ask him what he's thinking, what he's seeing, or why he's calling a particular pitch, and hopefully he can converse with you and ask you why you're thinking of a particular pitch, and come up with a plan, a quick plan, and get back there and execute it.
1 ball, 2 strikes to John Mayberry. Inside, 2-2.
Right there is a changeup in, which we haven't seen tonight, righty on righty from Hutchinson. So he's got a little bit of an arsenal in his back pocket that he uses in particular situations.
I wonder if that changeup inside set up with a fastball inside right here. Flutter away.
Gets away from Kratz. Utley doesn't advance, and it's 3-2. I don't think Utley could really see how far that ball was going back. Folks might be wondering why not Jimmy Rollins here, because it's Galvis's spot. Rollins is basically available to pinch hit, it looks like, but not to play the field. There's the 3-2 pitch coming to Mayberry. Down the right field line. That will flow it out of play. The assumption is that Mayberry will stay in the ball game, and they'll do a double switch. I should say Mayberry may not stay in the game. Nix will probably come into play short. Could bat 9th if we don't get to that spot. The pitcher spot could either be Brown or Mayberry, depending on what Ryan Sandberg decides to do defensively. Runners will be off. And the 3-2 pitch. Up and in, ball 4. The bases are now loaded. So we're a swing away from having a tie game. They're going to start moving around a little bit in the bullpen, or the dugout. Get the bullpen moving around. It's an 8-pitch at bat for Mayberry. And it's the first walk issued by Hutchinson tonight.
I find it interesting, too, that he threw a changeup when he's used his fastball so effectively tonight. If you're going to get beat, you usually get beat with your best. And right, tonight for me, Drew Hutchinson's best pitch is his fastball.
She's average up to 236. Takes outside, 1 ball, no strikes. See the runners. Utley, Howard, and Mayberry in that order from 3rd to 1st.
It's almost like he's pitching defensively right now. Instead, he's lost some aggression.
In the air to right field. Going back on his Bautista. Back to the wall. It is gone! Grand slam, Cody Ashe. And just like that, we're tied up at 5. Well, that young man's starting to swing the bat for the Phils. That was a big one. A grand slam. He's got a single, a double, now a home run, a triple away from the cycle. And we have a brand new ball game.
You say he's been swinging the bat extremely well. He knew as soon as he hit it. But Ryan Howard extremely happy knowing it came at a perfect time for that home run.
Chase Utley knows it's gone. I was waiting to see what the wind might do to it. The dugout knew it was gone. Look at Cole Hamels clapping, and A.J. Burnett, I don't know if he said he called it or not.
He's taking credit for it.
And a curtain call for Cody Ashe. It's our first of the year. And Evelyn Petula in Phoenixville, you just won $300 thanks to Cody Ashe in the McDonald's home run jackpot. Gentleman has the baseball, and he's going to bring it up, get it signed by Cody. Well, that had to feel really good. 3 home runs now for Ashe, 11 RBIs. He's now 6 for 13 on this homestand. he may not find himself on the bench anymore against left-handers. He may be out there all the time again. His first career grand slam. And here's Tony Gwynn. It's a pitch hit for Hamels. Broke his back, ground ball to second. And Tollison throws him out. Side is retired, but what an inning. It's the best inning for the Phillies in a few days. 5 runs. They erase a 5-0 deficit. We're all tied up at 5 as we go to the top of the 7th here at Citizens Bank Park. Those pictures certainly tell the story for our Honda dealers game summary, our local Honda dealers game summary. Cody Ashley, first career grand slam, ties it up at 5. Jose Bautista and Edwin Encarnacion are combined 4 for 6 with a double home run and a couple runs scored. Cole Hamels went 6 tonight. He's off the hook. We go to the top of the 7th in a 5-5 game. And Ashley feeling pretty good about his swing tonight. 3 hits. Jason Nix does indeed come in to play shortstop. And Jeff Manship is the new pitcher. Now, the way this game is starting to unfold, the lineup is a little different than what we envisioned. Manship stays in the 9-hole. And Nix will bat 7th. And that's where Mayberry pinch hit. So they basically stay straight up. 10th ball game for Manship. 2-0 to Reyes. 3-0. Well, it just took 21 innings to score 5 runs. There were some pretty good swings in that inning, too.
There was, and the bad highlight was Mayberry's.
Yeah.
He battled, 8-9 pitches, whatever it was, and ended up getting on for a walk and setting the table.
Well, Manship comes out and walks the first batter. Now Melky Cabrera is coming up. Melky Cabrera is 0 for 2. He walked his first time up.
Here's where it's tough. You just can battle back and score 5 runs, and Manship goes out and walks the first hitter on 4 pitches. It's tough. It's tough on the defense. It's tough on an offense. The offense knows they've been struggling, and they've been fighting hard to put up some runs, and now they do it. And now it's up to the bullpen to hold Toronto at bay.
Are you guys surprised that Cabrera was just trying to bunt to move a runner to scoring position? I guess you got some big boppers behind him. Chopper right side. Howard to second for one. Back to first. And Manship hangs on to the bag. 3-6-1. And that certainly helps.
And that's a great feed. They're actually having PFP in there doing some early work today with the bunts and stuff. And Ryan Howard, I was watching today, and he was coming off and he was planting his feet and squaring the shoulder for second base. Just as he did right there, came off, gave him a great feed, and of course, Nix does a very nice throw. Manship does a very nice job, and Jamie would know this, trying to find that bag at first base and receiving the throw at the same time. Nice play all around.
So 6 pitches now after the 4-pitch walk and 2 outs. And now Bautista. 2 for 3 tonight. He's doubled, he's singled. First pitch, a little low, 1 ball, no strikes.
You know, and here's where you can be smart about pitching to Bautista. You don't have to, there aren't guys in bases loaded, second and third, or first and second. You try to get him to swing at your pitch. If you don't, you can kind of pitch around him and go to Encarnacion.
Balls and no strikes. That's in there. 2-1. Manship has not worked a whole lot of innings. On the Toyota Major League scoreboard, Jason Worth might be 3 for 3, but the Dodgers are shutting out the Nationals 3-0.
Clayton Kershaw's back tonight, is he not?
It is Clayton Kershaw. I wanted to look to see what the inning was. 7th inning. I guess he's okay.
I guess he is.
He wasn't happy that they sent him out for another rehab assignment before this start.
Don't get hurt.
If you don't like it, don't get hurt.
3-2.
It's like when people write bad things in the paper or report. If you don't like it, play better. Bottom line.
He has 8 strikeouts through 6 innings. Bautista hooks it foul.
I'd say he's back then.
I think he's feeling pretty good. Nationals are at first place in the East by a half game over the Braves, who are tied with the Cardinals right now, 1-1. Three-two pitch. Outside, ball 4. And now Encarnacion is coming up. These lucky fans are tonight's Citizen 7. They will receive a prize pack courtesy of Citizens Bank. Good banking is simple, clear, and personal. And that's helping you bank better. Citizens Bank, good banking is good citizenship. Encarnacion hit a mammoth home run his first time up. Howard, fly ball deep to left. Brown is back. He has room. It may only be a half step, but he makes the catch, and the side is retired. Oh, man. No runs, no hits, 1 man left, and 1 major league fly ball. We go to the bottom of the 7th. All right, Danny, thank you very much. I'll tell you, I saw some footage of Alejandro in a private combine. As you see Manship and Bob McClure in the dugout. Manship did a nice job getting through that inning. Alejandro Pena, the former Army Ranger, as Ben Revere leads it off. He is enormous. Not only in height, 6'8", but 6'9", I should say, but also, I mean, man, it's in great shape. So it's a great story. You hope that he's able to make the team. As Revere is retired on a ground out to second. And that'll bring Ruiz to the plate. Carlos is 2 for 3. He singled, he struck out, he doubled and scored last inning. In fact, he started the rally. The outside corner, 0-1. Oh, and 2.
A lot of times when Chooch gets 2 strikes on him, he becomes a better hitter. He sits there and he lets the ball get a little deeper. He chokes up a little bit and doesn't try to do too much. For early in the count, he overswings sometimes.
Oh, he's down on strikes for the second time.
Except for that at bat.
Yeah, there are 2 outs. It's now time for you to tweet your photo using hashtag PhillyFanPhoto for a chance to have it shown in an upcoming game broadcast. Brought to you by AT&T. That gentleman has that photo that we can show at a later time. It's probably something to the fanatic as he's wandering down toward the dugout for all the fans to see. Chase Utley takes a pitch and strike. It's 0-1. It's a decent sized test right here for Hutchinson too, after giving up 5 runs, to come back and pitch the bottom of the 7th.
They're showing a lot of confidence with him too and giving him an opportunity. Look, he got him this far. He had 1 bad frame, but he got him this far, pitching very effectively. And they're going to have to rely on him throughout the season. So your starting pitchers have to eat up a lot of innings, and it saves your bullpen.
Swing and a miss, 1-2. See the line score. Big 5 spot, big crooked number in the bottom of the 6th. Toyota Major League Scoreboard, an update from Atlanta where the Cardinals and the Braves are tied at 1. Justin Upton hit a estimated 457-foot home run tonight. That one's down the left field line, and it'll be out of play. Gavin Floyd, pitched 7 innings tonight for the Braves on his way back from Tommy John surgery. 6 hits, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts. And Utley is down looking. He can't believe that pitch was called a strike. Well, the Phillies go down 1-2-3 here in the 7th. Nothing across. We'll go to the 8th. Phillies and the Blue Jays tied at 5. by Delaware Valley Honda. Visit your local Delaware Valley Honda dealer or shophonda.com. By the Pennsylvania Lottery. Benefits older Pennsylvanians every day. And by Chevrolet. Visit your local dealer at chevydealer.com. 5-5 game as we go to the top of the 8th inning. Jake Diekman in his 16th game, 2-1, an ERA of 5.87. Well, last night he had a good fastball going last night.
He really did throw a lot of good fastballs, which set up a very good slider. Right there's a slider, front door slider as we call it, and totally didn't know what to do with it.
I think what made it sliders so nice last night was he was spotting his fastball, and they knew they had to speed up their bats a little bit. They started cheating. He started throwing that slider low and away and inside the right-handers, and out of the strike zone, making them fish.
Also got a head in the count, which makes a huge difference.
Oh, he threw 2 innings in last night's ball game. And he throws a slider to Francisco, and it's 0-1. Francisco's 1 for 3, couple runs scored, an RBI. And it's 0-2. And a called strike 3. 97 with that fastball in the right spot. One away here in the 8th.
Here you see a crossfire fastball up and away. Looks like it catches the top corner of the zone for strike 3.
Every time the Phillies pitchers retire the opposition 1-2-3, Comcast will make a contribution to Phillies charities. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. Here's Eric Kratz. Kratz is 1 for 3. And it's no balls and 1 strike. That one's floated out toward right. Here comes Bird. A sliding attempt. Did he get it? He did! Marlon Bird hangs on with a tumble. 2 outs here in the 8th.
Here comes Gibby to argue. Or to see if he has time to see if he...
Okay. All right, before we look at the replay, what do you guys think? From up here, it looked like he caught it.
He caught it.
Well, here's our Hyundai defensive play of the game, and I believe we have the answer.
What I liked about it is the initial swing of the bat. He came in on the bat, on the swing, made a nice catch and rolled and kept it in the glove. He's done that a few times this year. He's done it extremely well on his first step to the ball. And a lot of outfielders, those that situation, will step back, but that is your Hyundai defensive play of the game.
Well, John Gibbons got the explanation he wanted from the second base umpire and the thumbs down from the dugout. So 2 outs here in the top of the 8th. And Colby Rasmus, who homered earlier, takes outside. 1 ball, no strikes. Fastball, 1-1.
I believe it's not a comfortable at bat for a left-handed hitter facing Diekman. Can you imagine if he stood on the first base side of the rubber? He would be literally throwing.
His arm slot would be from Chase.
That one is, yeah, hit out to Chase on one hop. 1, 2, 3, 8th inning. Boy, 3 good innings in this series for Jake Diekman. We'll go to the bottom of the 8th inning here in Philadelphia. It'll be Ryan Howard to start things off for the Phils. Then Marlon Byrd. And then finally, Dominic Brown in a 5-5 game.
Bank Park all knotted up at 5, and after this game the Phils will head north to Toronto to take on the Blue Jays again for 2 more. Here's your pitching matchup: Cliff Lee against Mark Burley, who is having a terrific beginning of the season, 5-1 with a 2.25 ERA, and then A.J. Burnett will take on R.A. Dickey, the right-hander. Dickey's record 2-3 with an ERA over 5. Guys?
All right, Murph, thank you very much, as Ryan Howard will lead things off here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Howard singled home a run his last time up and also scored a run. He's 1 for 3. Big swing and a miss. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. Bob McClure onto the phone. Manship a scoreless inning. Diekman a scoreless inning. Out of play, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Figure Papelbon will get up and start throwing in the pen for the. There he is. Tie game. You try to keep it tied going into the bottom of the 9th. If they're ahead, you of course try to close the door. Howard hits it to shallow left. Reyes is out. Cabrera's in. It's Cabrera. 1 away. And here's Marlon Byrd. By the way, we mentioned birthdays earlier. We want to also mention that it's the 30th birthday of Ryan's son Justin, who's watching tonight's ball game out in Santa Monica. So wish him a happy birthday. I don't think he's being silly stringed. I think he's, well, you never know. That's true. So happy birthday, Justin. Hope you're having a good night. Marlin fouls it away. It's 0-1. You know, not that it's that big of a deal, but the Phillies have tied it up at 5. I'm sure Bob McClure and Ryan Sandberg totally changed the way they were thinking about the bullpen. You know, Manship was warming up, so they kept him in, which was a good thing because he pitched a scoreless inning. But after they tied it up, they probably readjusted everything. and as far as their thinking goes.
Well, yeah, once the game gets tied, you're going to go to your guys that you think are going to be able to keep that lead, and the guys you probably have the most confidence in at that point.
0-2 to Bird. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Sergio Santos is up and throwing in the pan for the Blue Jays.
And they also matched up Deacon with 2 decent left-handed hitters that inning. I think that was by plan.
High fastball, 2 outs. Well, since the home run, Hutchison has retired 6 straight. On Friday, May 23rd, the Phillies will kick off a 3-game series with the Los Angeles Dodgers. It'll be the last time they see the Dodgers during the regular season. 7:05, 3:05, and then Sunday the 25th, 1:35. It's the IBEW Local 98 Ryne Sandberg Louisville Slugger bat. Free to fans 14 and under. It's plastic bat. Order your tickets now by going to Phillies.com.
And for me, that's one thing that I don't like about the interleague play. They're facing the Dodgers for the last time of the season in May. And I think that takes away from what National League Baseball really is, or, you know, either league, National League or American League. And I mean, it's a team that potentially could be a playoff team. You still don't know where the Phillies are. The Phillies potentially are a playoff team. And you want to be able to see those guys at different points of the season.
I would agree with you that's, you know, that if you're a fan of the National League or a fan of the American League, it used to be that you'd see a team at least twice in each venue during the course of the year.
Well, come August, you won't even know who the Dodgers are.
It's very true. They could be a totally different team. 2-2 to Brown.
I get what they're trying to do with interleague play, but I think it really takes away from what's going on in your own league.
Outside, 3 balls and 2 strikes.
You see him trying to get Dominic to chase the ball up with 2 strikes. As you talked about earlier, Matt, he's got a loop in his swing right now and can't get to that high fastball.
Out toward left, Smokey Cabrera will settle under it, put it away. Side is retired. Hutchison retires the Phillies 1-2-3 in 2 consecutive innings. They go to the 9th. It's a 5-5 ball. Sports writers talk about the Phils Blue Jays home and home series and the Eagles' possible draft picks. Watch Phillies Sports Talk presented by Comcast Business on Comcast Sportsnet. 5-5 game in the top of the ninth inning. We're talking about interleague play and the fact the Phillies will have 2 more against Toronto up at the Dome. Well, here's the Phillies interleague schedule. They've already played the 3 against the Rangers. This is game 2 of this series. They play the Angels on the 13th and 14th. Then it's the Astros who come to town on the 5th, 6th, and 7th of August. Again against the Angels. That'll be in August out in Anaheim. Now the Mariners are here. We're in Oakland for the end of the season. 19th, 20th, and 21st. So Jonathan Papelbon will pitch here in a tie game, trying to keep it a tie game. Chris Getz will pinch hit for Steve Tollison. And Deanna Navarro is in the on-deck circle for Drew Hutchinson. Papelbon has a scoreless streak of 11 straight innings. First pitch is outside, 1-0. Getz is hitting .286. He has 4 hits and 14 at-bats. 2 balls and no strikes. Marcus Stroman is in the pen. Swing and a miss. Overpowered him. It's 2-2. To center field, and Ben Revere, they didn't know which way to go. The ball was kind of hit straight away, then started slicing at the last moment. And there's one away here in the ninth. And here's Deanna Navarro. Still bothered by quad injury. And Navarro is limited to being a pinch hitter. And he's pinch hitting here. He pinch hit last night, grounded out to second. 2 for 10 lifetime against Papelbon.
I'll tell you what, I like the game that Hutchinson pitched tonight. Really competed, really battled. I'll take that kind of pitcher on my staff any day.
Think about it, after he gave up the grand slam, he retired the next 7 batters.
Yeah, I liked how he pitched in the 6th inning, to tell you the truth. He gave up the 5
Well, we'll take that, definitely. 1 ball, no strikes. On the outside corner, it's even now, 1-1.
You know, and I'll agree with Jamie. He pitched a nice game. It's kind of interesting to see in that 6th inning, all of a sudden he got away from his fastball, and he started using his changeup to right-handers, which got him in trouble, especially when he faced Mayberry and walked him on the 8th or 9th pitch, and then set up the grand slam.
8 innings, 9 hits, 5 runs, 6 strikeouts. Swing and a miss, 1-2. Got him. Ruiz hangs on, 2 outs. That'll bring Jose Reyes to the plate. He's 0 for 3 with a walk, and as Reyes comes to the plate, we'll take a look at our Mazda leaders. And Reyes is the all-time active leader in hits against the Phillies with 181. David Wright is second with 171. That's a lot of hits.
Well, when you figure you see a team 18 times a year, and everyone talks, and we were talking about earlier about the interleague play. I like the interleague play. I would like to see less games in your own division, and that way you can spread them out towards more games in the West Coast, maybe the Central. Instead of having 18 or 19 games,
you want to see like 12?
12, and then that way all of a sudden you have 6 games where you can spread it out somewhere else.
Fly ball, foul territory, third base side, Ashe on the run, and he won't get there. He ran a long way, and it's 0-2. They used to do that. The only argument is then there's less control if you're, let's say, if you're battling the Nationals for a divisional crown. You may be done with them in August instead of getting a chance to play them in September.
Right, but I guess it works on both sides.
Sure.
Really. I mean, if I'm going to go out, and each team should play the exact same team. So the schedule we have this year for interleague play should be the exact same schedule that the other teams have.
In the division.
Yes.
Swing and a miss. He got him. High heat 93 from Papelbon. The scoreless streak is at 12 as he retires the Blue Jays in order here in the top of the 9th inning. Great job by the Phillies bullpen. They've retired. Of the month features the fanatic in poses from his collection of children's books. Released on the first of each month, each bobble is part of a limited edition run. Get yours before they're gone. Available exclusively at the Majestic Clubhouse store at Citizens Bank Park. Great detail on those bobbleheads. Just doesn't get old. Fanatic loves the silly string. Trying to get every bit of it out. Chris Getz stays in the ballgame to play second base for the Blue Jays. Marcus Stroman, the new pitcher. A run on a hit in 2/3 against the Pirates the other day. Papelbon, he does look good.
Yeah, he does. And then he always talks about the velo doesn't matter. Well, his velo is starting to go up 92, 93 miles an hour. What I like is he's a very smart veteran pitcher. Knows that he's not going to let a guy beat him on the inside corner. So he pounds that strike zone away and really didn't throw any off-speed pitches that.
No.
He just
threw a couple splits.
Threw the fastball
to Navarro. That was it.
First pitch from Stroman to Nix is in there on a breaking pitch. It's 0-1. But, you know, his velocity is consistent now. And wouldn't you guys agree with that? Papelbon, it's not wavering from 92, 93 anymore. It's getting
exactly.
stronger.
He's set right at 92, 93 all night.
0-2 to Jason Nix. Nix hitting 176 on the year. And it remains 0-2. I bet you the Phillies will head to Toronto for 2 games following this one. Matt and I will be in Toronto. Jamie will meet us in New York this weekend when the Phillies take on the Mets for 3. And then back home again next week after an off day on Monday. Murph has found his passport, so he'll be going to Toronto with us too. 1-2 pitch to Nix, and he's down on strikes, so 1 away. Well, here's our W.B. Mason delivery of the game.
Well, not hard to say in the 6th inning. Change up in the zone. Cody took a nice easy swing at it. The ball jumped off his bat for his first Major League Grand Slam. And AJ sat there and says, I called it.
First curtain calls, we said, of the year. And our W. Mason delivery of the game. It's 0-1 to Ashe here. He's 3 for 3 tonight. A single, double, and a home run. And he's behind 0-2, by the way, for that home run, and each one hit by the Phils this year. 1 tree will be planted by the Pennsylvania Horticultural Society as part of Home Runs for Trees. You can visit Phillies.com/redgoesgreen for more information.
Stroman, kid has a very nice arm. 95-96, very nice curveball.
Former first-round pick.
Looks like he has a lot of confidence in every pitch he throws. He's back on the mound and he's ready to go.
And a liner out toward left center field. That's going to be in for another hit. A 4-hit night for Cody Ashe. And Rollins will pitch hit for the Phils.
Good feeling when you're swinging the bat extremely well, seeing every pitch and going left field, right field, and just reacting. You're getting your first grand slam, you're getting your first 4-hit game of your career.
Rollins pitch hit in last night's game and popped out. He's been nursing a sore groin. That'll be out of play. It's 0-1. No balls and 1 strike to Rollins. And it gets away from Kratz. Ashe will go to scoring position. That ball was at 95 miles an hour, and it had some movement on it. They scored a wild pitch. One ball and 1 strike to Rollins. Chopper right side. Ashe will go over to third. Stroman covers, 2 outs. And Ben Revere is due up for the Phillies. Pete Walker on the phone. winning run is 90 feet away. Phillies were down 5-0 at one point in this ball game. Boy, look at Francisco. First pitch is in there for a strike. He is way in at third. One pitch. Now it's 0-2.
Be interested to see if Ben realized. Well, I know he realizes he's that far in, but if he was trying to get that ball past him, since he was so shallow at third, we've seen it happen this year. He's hit that ball that way extremely well.
Did it last night. Had a base hit the other way.
Really surprised that he played that shallow.
Very surprised. No balls and 2 strikes to Revere with the infield now back. And the pitch. Chopper, right side. Gets, charges, has it, flips in time. And we're going to extra innings. The Phillies leave the winning run over at third here at the bottom of the 9th inning. On to the 10th. We're all even at 5. Of Cole Hamels' performance and the performance by the Phillies here tonight in the final game of this homestand against the Blue Jays, only on Pure Auto Insurance presents Phillies postgame live. Well, Ben will be talking about an extra inning ball game as we go to the top of the 10th in a 5-5 game. Extra inning records: the Blue Jays 0-1, the Phillies 2-0. And Antonio Bastardo will take over for the Phils. Diekman 1-2-3 8th inning. Papelbon 1-2-3 9th inning. This after Manship worked a scoreless 7. So 3 scoreless innings now for the Phillies bullpen in relief of Cole. Bastardo is scheduled to face Melky Cabrera, Jose Bautista, and Edwin Encarnacion for the Blue Jays. Melky Cabrera tonight has walked. He is 0 for 3. Headed to a 3-6-1 double play. His last time up turned out to be a big double play. Swing and a miss at a slider. Line drive, base hit through the hole on the left side. So Cabrera is aboard. There is no chance that Bautista is up here bunting. So if you're Bastardo, you got to be careful with this guy.
Yeah, you really do. You got to try to keep him off balance and try to throw something out over the plate off speed to try to get him to roll over. If you're going to come in, you got to make sure you come in far enough where you're going to jam him and he can't get his arms extended.
Phillies have 3 infielders on the left side. And Cabrera being held on by Howard over at first. First pitch low, 1 ball, no strikes. Two hits in 3 official at bats. He walked his last time up. Out of play, 1-1.
I find it interesting, you know, the shift is on, or they have a shift on, but if there's a ball hard hit to third or short, there's no way to turn a double play.
Utley's going to have to be quick to the bag, you would think.
That's moving that way from where he is to the bag and trying to catch a throw. I'm not sure it can happen. I don't know. I hope he could do it, because that'll be the first for me. I've never seen a double play made that way.
You know what? Last night Encarnacion hit it to a 6-4-3, but I think Chase was closer to the second base bag than he is now.
Correct.
2-2. On the Toyota Major League scoreboard, the Marlins have shut out the Mets 3-0. I think the Fish 16-5 at home this year.
Playing with a lot of confidence at home.
I wonder if they're drawing any better.
That I don't know.
To the right side, a base hit for Bautista, and Cabrera is on his way to third. Boy, he just brushed aside that shift, and it's first and third with nobody out. That was all him. He looked like that was as intentional gets right there.
It wasn't actually the ball he fouled off over the dugout. He tried to swing, but that time he kind of back-legged it and guided the ball to in the hole. Which really, he hits the ball that way, but it's usually in the air. So.
Well, we've seen the shift work in this series against the Blue Jays. And that time, Bautista is able to work his way around the shift. And now Edwin Encarnacion will be the batter. Phillies play the infield in. And they have Mario Hollins warming up at the bullpen for Francisco, who's in the on-deck circle. The first pitch. Low. 1 ball, no strikes. Actually, let me check that. I wonder why Mario Hollins is warming up in the bullpen. Maybe they don't want to get Bastardo too deep into this inning. He has worked a lot. In the dirt, 2-0.
That's the figure that Hollins is more of a strikeout pitcher if they need to get a strikeout.
Lefty on lefty?
Yeah, in a situation.
Now the 2-0 pitch coming to Encarnacion. In there for a strike. It's 2-1. Popped him up. Utley out near second. On the edge of the grass, makes the catch, 1 away. They're going to stay with Bastardo with the lefty Francisco coming up. Larry Boa lining the defense.
Well, that was a big out right there. This becomes even a bigger out. If you can somehow see what they're going to do, how they're going to line up here defensively. Looks like Chase and Nix are talking about coverage. But, you know, getting this guy out here, getting a double play, if that's at all possible. Comebacker, 1-6-3.
In the dirt, 1 ball, no strikes. Great play by Ruiz. Francisco is a candidate because of his speed.
Yeah, this is what Mike Schmidt talked about on Sundays. We don't talk about it. You expect him to do it every time. That ball barely hit the dirt.
58-foot slider. And when they bounce that that far in front of home plate, it's really tough to judge how that's going to bounce.
Laid on a fastball, 1-1. Toyota Major League Scoreboard, it's gone final down in Atlanta. The Braves have snapped a 7-game losing streak. They've defeated the Cardinals 2-1. Braves had not taken a lead in a game since the 22nd of. They haven't taken the first lead in a game since the 22nd of April. They took the first lead of tonight's game.
All right, now you got the hitter. Francisco frustrated. Shoots go out a little farther outside with the fastball, make him expand. Try to stay away from the slider here, but you want to go with that fastball away. Next, I think they're coming with
Something in the dirt. Again, Ruiz is able to keep it around the plate. Bautista goes to second, but the runner stays at third. Yeah, that'll be a wild pitch to put runners on second and third, so forget about the double play.
It's a great block. Again, it's a really short slider, but I'm not sure what. Trying to throw that ball in, and I don't know how you get that ball that far in front of home plate if you're trying to throw it in. I mean, once you're throwing a curveball, but it's not a curveball, it's a slider. Now it changes the complexion of things here.
Sure.
You need a hard hit ball at somebody. You need a pop up in the infield. You need a shallow pop up or a punch out. Exactly. Pop up at home plate.
Infield is in. The pitch out towards center field. It's not deep. Charging it is Revere. Tagging from third is Cabrera. Revere is under it. Here comes Cabrera. The throw to the plate cut off by Howard, and the Blue Jays take a 6-5 lead. And it's a sacrifice fly by Juan Francisco. And the Blue Jays are back on top. Well, Ben does everything he can. He just doesn't have a strong arm.
Yeah, he gets behind it real nice. He just, like you said, his arm's not right there yet. But it's interesting to see that slider was thrown in that situation where usually an off-speed pitch with a man on third is the easiest pitch to hit in the air.
Well, Kratz is up. They need to keep it at a 1-run deficit. And a slider low. 1 ball, no strikes.
Oh, the throw was offline too. It was probably 30 feet offline.
He's worked over and over again on arm strength, but you know, he does what he can. Just doesn't have it.
It would have been interesting to see if it was online.
Yeah.
And I don't know if there would have been a play, but it would have been a lot closer than with the ball 30 feet offline.
One ball, 1 strike. Bautista leads off third. Kratz tonight is 1 for 4. pitch is just a tad inside, I guess. It's 2-2. Over to third, scooped up by Ashe. Nice play. Side is retired, but a run does score. The go-ahead run on a sacrifice fly off the bat of Juan Francisco. We go to the bottom of the 10th inning, and the Jays have taken a one-run lead. Is going to be on Tuesday, May 13th. It's presented by Independence Blue Cross and Citizens Bank. That's where the Phillies take on the LA Angels. A free Phillies sunglasses for all fans coming to the ballpark. Order your tickets now by going to Phillies.com. Well, the Phillies have some work to do. They're down by one here in the bottom of the 10th. Juan Francisco's sacrifice fly has given the Blue Jays the lead. Marcus Stroman stays in, probably to face Ruiz.
The key here is getting that leadoff guy on. Let's make him throw some strikes. Get that leadoff guy on base. Put a little pressure on the defense and the pitcher.
No balls and one strike to Ruiz. 0-2. Back-to-back breaking pitches.
Well, and the pitches you wouldn't be looking for anyway, I don't believe. Now you got to protect.
I thought you might have seen Chooch might have laid a bunt down there here in this situation. He's done it before, and he's a very good bunter. But I guess when you're feeling very good hitting, it doesn't matter.
1-2 pitch to Carlos. Chopper back toward the middle. Reyes is there around the bag. One out. Here comes John Gibbons. They're probably going to go to the lefty loop with Chase Utley due up. And then Howard behind him. There's the call to the pen. Well, they said they're going to match up save situations, not go with just one guy specifically. So an inning and a third scoreless by Stroman. With one out here in the bottom of the 10th inning, we have a pitching change. lead it 6-5. And the Blue Jays will bring in Aaron Loup to face Chase Utley. And then Ryan Howard behind him. Loup is 1-1 at ERA of 4.70. He pitched in last night's ball game. Rally time, rally cap time. Loup last night was the third pitcher used. He pitched a scoreless 7th inning. Struck out 3. He did allow a couple base runners, though. First pitch in there. That's a tough strike.
It's a good pitcher's pitch.
Yeah.
To get ahead with. Probably don't want to stay in there with Chase, but get in and get out.
And Chase hooks it to the right side on one hop. Getz has it. And there are 2 outs here in the 10th. Phillies are down to their final out in this part of the home and home. Howard tonight is 1 for 4. He had an RBI single back to the 5-run 6th inning. Phillies ended a 21-inning scoreless drought with 5 to tie it. And now they trail at 6-5 here in the bottom of the 10th.
Facing guys like this, it's so hard to be patient. You always tell yourself, wait for the one that starts behind you to swing it. Anything else, you let it go. That being a slider, of course. Fastball, it's just hard to pick up because it's you want to stay back as long as you can, and then all of a sudden he's throwing from basically behind you.
No, it becomes a guess. From what you're saying, pick one and wait for it. You're going to get it at some point.
Back-to-back fastballs there. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Reminder, Phillies post-game live is coming up right after this ball game comes to a close. Ben Davis is hanging around waiting. Phillies trying to stay, trying to get above the 500 mark instead of below it. And Howard checks his swing. No appeal. No swing, says Dan Bellino. Nobody else warming up in the Blue Jays bullpen. So if Howard reaches, it'll be Bird against Loup.
I like that matchup.
I just want to see Ryan stay patient right here.
3 balls and 2 strikes and the pitch. And a chopper right side. Francisco is there. He's got it. Throws to first in time. And the Blue Jays have taken the first 2 games of this home and home. As Aaron Loup comes on to combine with Marcus Stroman to close the door in the 10th inning. And the Blue Jays win it 6-5 tonight here in Philadelphia. Jose Bautista is our Chevrolet player of the game. He's 3 for 4 with a double, a walk, a run scored. And it's his ground ball to the right side with the shift on the left side that put first and third. It led to Francisco's sacrifice fly that gave the Blue Jays the run they needed to win this ball game. 6-5 the final score. The Blue Jays have defeated the Phillies in 10 innings. We'll be back to talk a little bit more about it right after this.